Alright, let's get after it. Breaking news: 7 of the world's most critical shipping ports have just canceled all incoming US shipments. This isn't a warning, it's happening right now. The implications are staggering, from the food on our tables to the tech in our hands. Supply chains are collapsing on a scale we've never seen. Why now? Why this drastic action? We need answers, fast. Tonight we'll break down what this means for you, for the country, and for the world. This is the Edge Report, and the story is just beginning. Let's start at the epicenter, Shanghai, a city that's not just a symbol of China's economic might, but the beating heart of global trade. The world's busiest container port has just halted all US-bound shipments, a direct message to Washington and Wall Street, and a move that sends shockwaves through every corner of the global economy. Millions of containers, from electronics to pharmaceuticals, are now stuck. Goods that power daily life and industry are frozen in place, with no clear timeline for release. US assembly lines depending on Chinese components, about to grind to a halt. The ripple effect will be felt in every sector, from auto plants to tech startups. This isn't a delay, it's a full stop. The machinery of global commerce has been switched off, and restarting it won't be easy. The decision came without warning, catching global shipping lines off guard. Logistics managers scramble for alternatives, but there are few options. Beijing's official line is logistical challenges, but this is economic warfare. The world knows it, and the stakes are enormous. Ships are being rerouted, creating a maritime traffic jam in the South China Sea. Ports from Singapore to Los Angeles brace for the fallout. For American consumers, this means empty shelves and skyrocketing prices. Everyday essentials from food to medicine suddenly become scarce. The just-in-time delivery system that powered our economy, it's broken. Warehouses sit idle, and supply chains unravel overnight. Politically, the White House faces impossible choices: retaliate or negotiate. Every option carries risk, and the world is watching for the next move. Shanghai's move exposes our dependence on a single manufacturing hub. The vulnerability is now impossible to ignore. Even Chinese workers are left idle. This hurts both sides. Factories that once buzzed with activity now stand silent. Financial markets are in chaos. Shipping stocks plummet, commodity futures spike. The VIX soars. Investors scramble to make sense of the new reality. Shanghai's decision is about stopping the global economic engine. The world's supply lines have been severed at their source. Never before has the world's largest port taken such a drastic step. This is a moment that will be studied for decades. There's no playbook for this. Leaders everywhere are improvising, hoping to limit the damage. Every government, corporation, and individual is now forced to react in real time. The world is learning just how interconnected and fragile our systems truly are. Shanghai holds the first, and perhaps most devastating, card. The next moves will shape the future of global trade. The shockwaves are just beginning. The world is watching, and the consequences will be felt for years to come. The stakes couldn't be higher. The world holds its breath as the crisis unfolds. Now to Europe, Rotterdam, the continent's largest port, has joined Shanghai. This is a body blow to transatlantic trade. Rotterdam is the gateway for American goods into Europe. Agriculture, machinery, tech. That flow has just stopped. The port's official statement: unprecedented pressure on global supply chains. Translation: Europe is circling the wagons. German automakers, chemical and pharmaceutical industries all will face immediate shortages. The US-Europe alliance is under strain. Economic self-preservation is trumping old partnerships. US cargo ships are being turned back or diverted to smaller, ill-equipped ports. Costs are skyrocketing, companies face bankruptcy, and the disruption is astronomical. European consumers will see American products vanish and prices rise. Rotterdam's move echoes Shanghai's. This is a coordinated, systemic dismantling of global trade. The question isn't if the system will break, but how fast. Every region is now fending for itself. The pain will be shared, but not equally. The global order is unraveling. Rotterdam's decision is a warning shot to the world. The dominoes are falling. The crisis is now global. The stakes are rising. The world is on edge. Next, Singapore, the world's busiest transshipment hub, has closed its doors to US cargo. This is the crossroads of global trade, and now it's shut. By halting US shipments, Singapore disrupts trade across Southeast Asia, Australia, and beyond. The decision is a shock, given Singapore's history of neutrality and open trade. They're seeing a storm on the horizon and are bracing for impact. Shipping schedules are in chaos, alternative routes are costly and scarce. Singapore's economy, deeply tied to its port, is taking a massive risk. The ripple effects will hit Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, entire regions now cut off from US trade. Theories abound, pressure from China, or a desperate move to protect their own economy. Whatever the reason, another artery of global trade is clamped shut. The message instability is here. When the world's most reliable trading hub opts out, the rules are gone. Singapore's move is a pillar crumbling, not just a domino falling. The global system is fracturing. The consequences will be felt everywhere. The world is holding its breath. Now, to Dubai, Jebel Ali Port, the busiest between Asia and Europe, has joined the shutdown. This port is a critical hub in the global supply chain. This is the main gateway for American goods to the Middle East, Africa, and South Asia. The ripple effects of this closure will be felt far and wide. Dubai's decades-long strategy of openness is over. The risks now outweigh the benefits. The city is taking unprecedented steps to protect its interests. The UAE's economy is built on global trade, a network that is now under severe strain. This move signals they see a hurricane coming. The economic storm is brewing, and Dubai is battening down the hatches. Neighboring countries rely on Jebel Ali for commerce and aid. The disruption is massive. The entire region is on edge. Even the energy sector could feel the impact as the flow of oil and gas is disrupted. US equipment for oil facilities is delayed, causing further complications in an already tense situation. Dubai, once a symbol of globalization, is now helping dismantle it. The city's role in the global economy is shifting dramatically. The city's gleaming skyline was built on free-flowing trade, a testament to its economic prowess. Now that era may be ending. The once bustling ports are eerily quiet. This is a geopolitical earthquake. The aftershocks will be felt globally. Even US allies are shifting away. The alliances are being tested like never before. The economic gravity of China and other powers is pulling old partners out of America's orbit. The balance of power is changing. The post-Cold War order is unraveling. The world is entering a new era of uncertainty. Dubai's decision is a sign of a world in flux. The city is adapting to a rapidly changing global landscape. The Middle East is bracing for impact. The region is preparing for the economic fallout. The global crisis is now total. The stakes are global. Every nation is feeling the pressure. The world is changing before our eyes. We are witnessing history in the making. Now, the crisis hits home. At the Port of Los Angeles, one of America's busiest gateways, incoming shipments are being canceled at an unprecedented rate. This isn't a distant foreign problem anymore. The breakdown is happening right here, on American soil. The ripple effects are spreading across the nation. The official reason given is terminal congestion, but that's only part of the story. The deeper truth is that the entire system is overwhelmed. Workers, equipment, and infrastructure are all stretched to the breaking point. The port is paralyzed, gridlocked by chaos that began in Asia and Europe but now grips the US with full force. Nearly half of all US imports flow through the twin ports of LA and Long Beach. Now, ships have nowhere to unload, and the backlog grows by the hour. A floating parking lot of container ships is forming offshore, each vessel loaded with goods that can't reach American consumers or businesses. The entire West Coast supply chain is frozen, with cranes idle and docks eerily quiet. Truckers wait for loads that never arrive, railways sit idle, and warehouses echo with emptiness. Every link in the chain is breaking down. Billions in goods are stuck in limbo, businesses will fail, farmers will lose crops, and prices for everyday essentials will soar. This is a national logistics crisis, an own goal of historic proportions, threatening the backbone of the American economy. Where is the emergency response? The silence from leadership is deafening as the crisis deepens. The sight of an American port turning away ships is a sign of lost control, a moment that will be remembered for years. The human cost is mounting. Layoffs, business closures, and inflation are hitting every family, every community. This isn't just an abstract crisis. It's about jobs, savings, and the daily struggle for survival for millions of Americans. The world is watching as America stumbles, questioning the reliability of its supply chains and its leadership. The crisis is no longer distant, it's now in our backyard, affecting our cities and our neighbors. The consequences will be severe and far-reaching. The US must act fast. The clock is ticking, and every second counts. Back to Europe. Hamburg, Germany's largest port, has joined the shutdown. This is a devastating blow to the German economy, the EU's manufacturing engine. Hamburg is the factory floor. Now it's going quiet. German automakers and manufacturers are cut off from US components and markets. The middle stand, Germany's small and medium businesses, face extinction-level threats. The official line: protect the European single market. The reality: Europe is retreating into protectionism. Germany's export-driven model is exposed. When the world stops buying, the engine seizes. Automakers will face shortages of US microchips and software. The chemical industry loses both markets and raw materials. The European Central Bank faces impossible choices: bailouts or recession. Hamburg's move is a vote of no confidence in globalization. Germany, usually cautious, is panicking. The shock will reverberate through every sector. The EU is bracing for pain. The world's economic core is faltering. The crisis deepens. Our final stop, Hong Kong. Once a symbol of free market capitalism, Hong Kong has now halted US shipments. This is a clear directive from Beijing, a political move, not just economic. The city's role as a financial and logistics hub is in chaos. Western companies are scrambling. The economic Iron Curtain is complete. Shanghai and Hong Kong, industry and finance, both closed to the US. Hong Kong's own economy will suffer. But Beijing is willing to pay that price. For international business, this is the end of one country, two systems. The exodus of talent and capital will accelerate. Taiwan is now under even greater pressure as the next potential flashpoint. This is a coordinated effort to decouple from the US-led system. The message: Asia is under new management. The global order is shifting. The world is watching a new era begin. The consequences will be profound. 7 pillars of global trade: Shanghai, Rotterdam, Singapore, Dubai, Los Angeles, Hamburg, Hong Kong, have all severed US ties. The web of global supply chains has been torn apart in hours. We are at the start of a crisis with no modern precedent. The era of seamless globalization is over. Economic nationalism is here. The coming days will be critical. Watch for responses from world capitals. We'll keep bringing you the facts as this story develops. The storm is here. Stay safe.